Guess what I did yesterday? I recorded this vlog, a recipe, and more. I'm up at around 8 in the morning. Here are some of the brushes and washcloths and combs and things I use for my body care routine, which I won't get into right now. Here I am taking my zinc. It's 1/6 of a zinc capsule, so it's just powder, and I'm floating it with coconut water. I do 3 rounds, ends up being like 2.1 grams of coconut water. I'm removing the frost protection on the hose bib and the water timer so I can water the peas and the brassica seedlings. And I discover the water timer is leaking from its seams. It probably froze overnight and got too big, or the seams just couldn't deal with the cold. Anyway, so I watered the peas and the brassica seedlings, and then I removed the frost protection on the timer that waters the 2 raised beds that we have, and I put the cover, which is Reflectix, underneath and facing towards the south so that hopefully it reflects the sun and defrosts it in time. I also changed the water for the birds and other critters that use the water. It's quite dirty today, and it freezes sometimes like this. There's a brick in there that I use to, and those little bricks on the side are to keep the little critters from drowning in there if they get stuck, to help them not get stuck. And have to rinse it out a few times. The water that goes on the ground, the butterflies like to use. It's called puddling. They make puddles and they like to hang out in them. And it's ready with clean water. Next, get some bird feed. And bring it out to feed the birds. Toss them on the ground when I get over there, and then also put it up in that little plate thing. And here they are enjoying it all. Well, some of them. Now I have my breakfast, and this watermelon was really thick rind, so it was kind of hard to cut. But basically I removed the rind and I'm weighing it. This first part is 1,794 grams. Then I am doing another round, and that is 650 grams. Now I'm cutting it up into pieces that I can pick up with my fingers. I take the plants that are on carts from the inside to outside on the deck, and then I go out and eat the watermelon in the sun while I'm enjoying watching the pollinators. And I got this cool footage of a butterfly getting pollen from my Meyer lemon tree that was on one of the carts. I do cover up and wear a hat and things to protect myself from the UV rays. I also have my back to the sun, but I also get the infrared through my clothes, and also I get to enjoy nature. So it's a nice way to have my breakfast. I also got some footage of bees on the basil, and this one's getting its stuff. And the next one, that one, it looked like it was stuck for a while, but eventually it got out. Next, I water the plants on the cart, and so I need to go and take the frost cover off of the hose bib and connect the hose. It's a little stiff from being frozen. We have a quick connect, so I'm doing it with one hand because I'm filming it with the other hand, but it's pretty easy to do with one hand. And so one thing that's really cool to do is do it early when things are still frozen like this. And you can see like all the frozen ice coming out of the hose that was disconnected overnight. And it's pretty cool. They're like little cylinders, and there are lots of them sometimes. Okay, enough of that. On to lunch. This is 8 ounces of kale. And then have to balance it in there to weigh it. And the little piece went in the handle, so I had to get that out. Now we've got bananas, and that's 300 grams of bananas. The big one is a frozen green banana. I'm having green banana in my smoothies for the resistant starch, and so I stick that one down in the side so that it stirs up well when I blend it. And then that's an ounce of blueberries. And then we've got 300 grams of coconut water. I cover it and blend it. Voila! There it is. And it goes into my bowl with much side scraping because there's all these little nooks and crannies in there. And then I am going to top it with 34 grams of mulberries. I also take 150 micrograms of iodine in a seaweed capsule. And I record a video on making fig cake and have a slice. I clean up, do a few other things, and here's dinner. 100 grams of golden kiwi minus 14 grams of the peel, which makes the part eaten 86 grams of golden kiwi, eaten before the rest of the meal. Outside, I reset the min-max temperature gauge and see that the max over the last 24 hours was 77.4 and the min 18.0. Cold. Back to dinner. 3 ounces of kale, 48 grams of celery from my garden, 1 ounce of homegrown fenugreek sprouts, 1 ounce of homegrown alfalfa sprouts, 2.2 ounces of homegrown broccoli sprouts, 6 ounces of carrots, made into noodles with this. Oops. 120 grams of carrot juice. Dash of pepper. One-eighth teaspoon of magnesium glycinate, 1 milliliter of vegan omega-3, 320 micrograms of B12, and 5,000 IUs of D3, all mixed together. .6 ounces of lettuce for wrappers with the veggies, plus 1.4 ounces of lettuce for a total of 5 ounces of lettuce for dinner. This 1.4 ounces is going to be used after dinner with half an ounce of walnuts. Okay, so I'm gonna do here is take some of this and put it in there, kind of like a taco kind of thing. And eat it like that. Thumbs up. In order to have better food combining, I save this for last to eat after the main part of that meal. Possibly I'll eat that even after I've cleaned up everything else. And that will be the last food for the day. About a half hour later, I do my dental hygiene routine. Hey, that rhymes. Anyway, so then I try to do some more tech problem solving in order to get these things uploaded to y'all, and get my water for the evening and the next morning, and go to sleep at about 11:30. So that's most of my day. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Here's a listing of the food that I ate. I entered it into Chronometer, and I also entered in under exercise standing tasks, because I was on my feet for almost 10 hours. That looks like it's 919 calories that it took into account. And then here is the energy summary. And so it's saying that I had 1,969 calories, and that pop-up there is the breakdown by calorie. It's 80% carbs, 10% protein, 10% fat, and the protein in grams is 70.4 grams, and there's a breakdown of most of the stuff that I had that had protein in it, or the top ones. And then over here is the calories burned, which is 2,068 calories. Some of that is just from being alive. That's what the BMR is. I only entered in the standing tasks, so that's what the exercise is about. And then let's go down here, and you can see nutrient targets that I highlight. I track those the most, and they're all good, and actually everything is good here. I have adjusted I've gone with the defaults they had for me, but I have adjusted some of them upwards, except for sodium, which I adjusted downwards. And we're just going through this list here, and you can check it out on your own and see what things you're interested in seeing how I did. It's got the item, then the measurement, and then the percent of the target, I said, or it said. That was said. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that should do it. That's most of my day. Fig cake recipe is coming up next. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, get notifications, and all that jazz. Thanks. Bye now.